I'm going to try something new here. I'm taking a screen capture of my Camtasia screen capture. So at Southern New Hampshire University, we use a tool called Mobius. And within Mobius, we can provide written feedback to student responses. And then typically each week, I'll have to manually grade a handful of assignments. And within Mobius, you can provide written feedback, but I wasn't 100% sure if my students were receiving that feedback. So one of the cool features within Brightspace, which is the LMS that we use at Southern New Hampshire University, is I can provide individual assignment feedback within Brightspace. And one of the cool features there is I can input video feedback. And that video will automatically give me my captions, so it makes it accessible to the students. And then what I do is, what I've experimented with this week is I've been going through the 3 questions that I need to manually grade and walking through those responses and giving students some feedback as to what they did well and what are some areas in which they can make their explanations a little bit more robust. Because the areas in which we're manually grading are the elements of the question that we're asking students to provide some written explanation as to why they answered the question in the format that they did. So on the screen here, you'll see that there's this white block. Underneath that block is a list of students' names. So the way that I run my report in Mobius, it inputs all of my students' grades. So what I do is I add a block, and then I extend that block for the duration of the video to keep those pieces of information private. And then I'll just slide my picture over. And then I probably should have reordered this prior to making resizing, but there it is. And it's actually pretty short and pretty sweet. It's a relatively easy process. And it's a great way to use Camtasia. And I'm actually finding that if I mess with my picture here, it makes my face look skewed. But I'm hoping that it gives me some positive feedback from my students, and they are able to use that and make their future assignment explanations of their work even more robust. Again, this is like probably something that a lot of you are already doing, but for those of you that are not providing video feedback to your students, and if you're using Mobius, this is one sort of workaround that you can use to make sure that you optimize your students' experience. And I've also found that as I've sort of gone down this rabbit hole, I'm grading much quicker because I'm not going from assignment to assignment. And then with the video, I sort of have a clear, continual thought process, so I'm able to articulate what it is I want to convey to my students relatively seamlessly. So I'm finding that this workflow is going to help me to grade a little bit easier, and quicker, even if that may seem counterintuitive, because of the sort of the process that it takes to get the videos rolling. But hopefully this was helpful. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, feedback, whatever, let it fly. Hope you're all well, and we'll talk to you all very soon.